With over 400 celebrity interviews and tons of pop culture nerdiness, Too Opinionated is a safe haven for your inner geek. Find us at meistercon.com or on YouTube under MeisterCon Pod. And please subscribe. It would really help us out. Thanks, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. Pretty excited today. I've got actress Emmanuelle Vaugier with me. So welcome, Emmanuelle.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you on. I was telling you offline, we've been looking forward to you coming on the program at some point. Our good friend David from Face to Face with David keeps saying you need to get Emmanuelle on. So I was like, okay. And now we did. He's very happy, and we are very happy. So you've got a new movie coming out, and I want to talk about that one. But before we do, tell me a little bit about what got you into the entertainment business. Why'd you want to become an actress?
In second grade, it started very young. I did a school play when I was like 7 years old, and I was the understudy for like one of the narrator angels. It was like a Christmas pageant type thing, and the girl got sick, and I got to step in and do my thing, and I just loved it. Like I enjoyed it. And I loved like the whole rehearsal process and just being in a play and then being in front of an audience. It was both terrifying and thrilling, and at a young age, it just was something that excited me. So there was a girl in my school that also was doing film and television, so I understood that was a possibility. Like I didn't really know how to do it. My parents were not helpful in that way, in the sense of like, they weren't going to be driving me around to stuff. And, so it happened of my own accord, kind of through school and me doing things. But, and then taking the bus to auditions and doing
I was
things
going
like
to say,
that.
were you riding a horse to auditions?
Right. No, because I couldn't afford one. No horses to auditions, but yeah, definitely was taking the bus or walking.
Yeah. What do you remember the first thing that you booked? Was it a commercial or was it a small role?
It was a small role in a supporting role in a Faye Dunaway, Stephen Collins NBC movie of the week, starring those two and Cameron Bancroft, who's a big Canadian name. And I remember taking the bus to set. Like I did not have a car, so like, and I die in the movie, and then there's parts of, they film parts of me, like where they find me and that sort of thing. So I remember getting on the bus, like I hadn't taken it. It was late. It was like I was trying to get the last bus home because it was, otherwise I'd miss it. And luckily we were finished. And I was like 18 years old. And I had all my death makeup on. So I was like pale and like just not looking so well. And I get on the bus, and there's like a couple people on the bus just like staring at me. And I'm like, I was so tired. I just didn't care. I was like, just get me home.
You didn't let them know? Yeah, I had a little part in something. I'm fine.
Well, I couldn't speak. I think at that point I was so exhausted, but yeah, it was, we were shooting into the night, and it was a late one, or relatively late for where I could, if I had gone off any later, I would have had to call my dad or my mom and wake them up and be like, hey, or just walk. We were shooting close enough to where I lived at that point that I could have walked home, but it would have taken me like 45 minutes.
Well, back then, a little bit safer walking home at night.
Yep.
I would definitely not let the kids walk home now.
No.
And they're grown. No. And I still probably wouldn't do it. I say, I'll come get you.
They're like 35. You're like, no.
There'll be none of that. I think the first thing that I remember seeing you in, it's been a while back, was Highlander, maybe?
Oh, that was early on. Yeah, that was probably that same year or the year after. Yeah, that was one of my very first things as well.
And that was the TV show. We had Adrian Paul's been on the program, which he was awesome. He's exactly what you think someone playing the Highlander would be like.
Right.
He's just very kind of macho, tough guy type, but very nice. Very nice to talk to. But he just comes across as like you wouldn't want to get in a fight with.
No, he definitely comes across as a tough guy. Like, that was excellent casting, because he's like, yeah, he's got that presence about him.
He's doing this thing now where he takes a group to a castle and they sword fight with him all day and then have a big banquet at night. I was like, that's the best thing I've ever heard.
That's really cool. Wow.
I don't think I'd want a sword fighting, but he travels all over and does it.
That's really neat.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, what a great idea.
I thought that was pretty good. I'm assuming that the reward for surviving sword fighting all day with him is a feast. You should get a feast after that.
Right. And maybe when there's no caterers or no food showing up, you might start to wonder if you're going to make it out of there alive. Where all the other bodies are buried.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I kind of got that feeling. Like he's not taking it easy on you. You got to earn that food.
Yeah, no, I can't see him letting people win. Like, I can see him being like, well, you didn't work hard enough.
Right. That's on you.
That's on you. Now you don't get dinner.
I kind of got the feeling he went with that there can be only one, but he took it really serious.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he took it to like the next level.
The next level. So the other one from way back then was the Police Academy. Had a TV show for a while, and you showed up on there.
Yes, I remember popping out of a laundry bin where they were sneaking me in and out of the Police Academy or something. I absolutely remember that.
See, that in my head, that's the scene that I could see was you popping out of that. And I was like, that's probably not right. But okay. I mean, it's been a little while back.
It was a while back, yeah. I don't know that now, but yeah.
Yeah, and now, okay, one more and then I'll shut up. But I was a big Andromeda fan, and you were on a couple episodes of those.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so that was awesome. Like, that was a whole experience. I had a whole new respect for some of the women on that show that had to go through the makeup.
Oh my gosh.
Situation. Yeah, I was in hair and makeup they would pick me up at 2 a.m. from the hotel, and shooting call was like 8, and crew call would be like 7:30, and I was in the makeup chair for 5 hours.
Are the hours like that for an actor? Is that the hardest part? I mean, those are long days.
Yeah, I mean, it depends, because like that specifically had 5 hours of hair and makeup. That's not normal, right?
Well, right.
Kevin was very smart, because he knew. He was like, I don't do the makeup. I don't do prosthetics. I am in my me skin bag, and that's it. And you put me in some cool clothes. I, do my thing. I worked 12 hours a day, and that, like, he had a heart out. Like, he had it dropped, but he could do that as the lead of the show. And he had quite a career leading up to that. So, those are the things you learn along the way, where it's like, okay, I want to have, he has a family, he has a wife, right. He has, the kids and stuff. So it's like, he wants to be able to work, but also spend time with his children and his family. So sense. I get it, but yes, it can be a very taxing career, as far as, when you're doing shows like that require that level of makeup.
I know it can lead to other jobs, because once you kind of prove that you can stand to have all that stuff put on you, then that could.
Yeah, I think a lot of actors who get to a place where they get the notoriety for something, find a way, like, they don't want to have it, like, there's body doubles and people doing other things, and they're in that makeup for very limited specific amounts of time, because it's so labor intensive, as far as
probably not the best for the skin either.
No, that was, at least I didn't have prosthetics on. It was just paint, but it was like an intro. I mean, they're very talented makeup artists and hairstylists and everything. Like, just, they had to hand paint the whole thing, and there were stencils and certain hand painted. So it was layers upon layer, because it has to last all day. So you wear a skin barrier cream, and I mean, it's a process. It's a process, but it's very cool to have experienced it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One time. I might do it
one time and one time only.
And probably not even that. I probably couldn't stand it.
No, now going forward, I'm like, I look for stuff like that where I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it.
Making sure they don't sneak it in on you. Nope.
Yeah, exactly. Like because I didn't actually realize on Andromeda that was going to be the case, and then they tell me, oh, you're a sun person or whatever it is. And by the way, we're picking you up at 2 a.m. What?
Yeah. I mean,
it was a lot.
What do you do if you gotta be up, before 2? Do you even go to bed? When do you sleep?
I mean, it's a thing. I would be, because they have to give you a certain amount of time, a turnaround, right?
Yeah.
To, like depending on the union, it's either 12 hours set to set or 10 hours set to set. And so when you factor in the amount of travel time on each end that they can account for, that's not over the amount that they're allowed to account for it. By the time you get home, work out, eat, do anything like that, you've got like 6 hours left to really have a life and sleep.
Who's got time to work out?
I know, right? I mean, and if I'm getting, it was 2 episodes for me. So like I can take the 2 weeks off and 3 weeks off and be like, all right, I can work out on the weekends. It's fine. It's just this period. But if you're on that show for like 9 months of the year, you need to be able to work out, like, because then, then you got producers coming to you going, she's not looking so good when she's getting a little, or whatever.
Those donuts.
Look the same as she did when we started this. It's like, wow, she looks a little tired and beat up.
I mean, I don't think people realize just how hard that can be, because what puts weight on you? Lack of sleep. If you're not getting enough quality rest, you're going to gain weight. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you're just, and then your mental health, as far as like even memorizing lines and just how you are, like your well-being in general, and being able to retain information starts to, like, it's hard. So yeah, it's balancing.
Didn't you get to work with Kevin on something else?
Yes. So I worked with him on an episode of a show called Love Inc., which was a sitcom. So we worked on that in LA together. And then during the pandemic, like in 2020, in August of 2020, we were lucky enough to be able to shoot 8 episodes of a show called The Potwins. And I'm not sure what has happened with that, but we shot in Riverside County because we could sort of get around some of the protocols that were happening. I mean, it was very strict regardless, but we were at least able to do something, which we were grateful for. But yeah, we got to work with each other on that again, which was great, because I hadn't seen him in years. And when I got the call, I was like, this is going to be fantastic. I love Kevin. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. We've got a chance to speak with him before too. And he's very, he has his time down. So, it starts and ends on his time, which is fine, but he's very regimented on what he does during the day. And he let me know ahead of time. He's like, this is when we can start, this is when we got to finish. I was like, okay, that's great.
Yeah. Well, at least then the parameters, right?
The parameters. And he was great. Yeah, really enjoyed talking with him, but he's so busy because he's got so many of these projects that he's doing kind of on his own.
Yeah. No, definitely. He's got a lot going on, which is really cool. So yeah.
Still in pretty good shape.
He's in great shape. And especially considering, like, I've been listening to his book about his, his life and what he went through with, health issues and things like that. And it's pretty remarkable what he's overcome and where he is now. That was not.
You would expect him to be able to.
No, like yeah, exactly. And I had no idea until I worked with him on Potwins in 2020. I didn't know any, and I think the book had just come out, or it was about to come out, or maybe it'd come out earlier that year. Anyways, I got it and was listening to it, and it's pretty remarkable. That's
awesome. Yeah, I love that. That's how my son that does the podcast with me does the editing and all the hard stuff. He's a librarian during the day, but he doesn't read that much, but he listens to a lot of the audiobooks. That's his preferred way. to listen to that. I'll tell him, I'll pass that on. I'll like, check out Kevin Sorbo's book.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big audiobook person as well, just because I'm in the car a lot.
Right.
And, I'd rather listen to something educational and fun, or even if usually it's educational stuff, or like self-help type stuff, or autobiographies or biographies. And then podcasts as well are always great, because I get a lot of good information from different, all different points of view, and kind of take it in on walks and stuff. Like, I'll do that.
I always say the best thing about podcasts is anybody can do it, but the worst thing about podcasts is that anybody can do it. But there's a ton of really good ones out there, and you can find out so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really can. And then you can make an informed decision about things, and also based on how that person conducts themselves, and how they, and the information that, like, it's a very interesting medium. I really enjoy listening to podcasts. So it's especially, and that started like right around 2019, 2020, it was just like, okay, I think a little
extra time.
Yeah. A little extra time, and a lot of soul searching and self-development and all the rest of that came with it.
Did you learn any new skills during the quarantine?
I ended up buying a couple of sewing machines and a sewing table that so I was sewing. I made some clothes just for fun. Like, I used to do it in high school, like, home ec, and I loved it.
I think that's pretty neat. What better time to do that stuff?
Right. And I was like, okay, I remembered a lot of, like, I got very basic patterns that I could sort of follow. And I was like, okay, I remember what this means and what those lines mean, and how to pin something properly. And then if I didn't know, of course, YouTube and all the rest of it is great for that. And I got myself some sort of basic, really sort of user-friendly sewing machines and a serger. So it was fun. I still have them. I just have nowhere to put them right now. So I gotta get back to it though.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's a good, that type of, I think that type of hobby is really important, because it's kind of mindless, but if you're busy most of the time, you can kind of just let yourself get into it and not have to, it's not stressful. So then when you're done, you feel better.
And it's fun. And so I find it's very meditative. When you've got to focus, like, it doesn't take it takes a certain amount of focus, and because sometimes you got to figure things out with more complicated patterns and things. But I was doing more just, I tried to keep things simple to start. And it was really cool. I enjoy, I would get excited to get up in the morning and be like, oh, okay, I've got to finish that and iron this. Like, who would have thought?
You need to start doing interviews, but wear a different something that you made for each interview.
That's a good idea. I only have 2 things that I made right now, and they're sitting in my closet, but I should do that.
Yeah. So, okay. So the new project, Big Sky River, the Bridal Path.
Yes.
So I know this is, I'm assuming, is it a direct sequel from the original?
It is. Yes. It's a continuation of the original that we did last year, where I, after splitting up with my husband, I go to Perabo, Montana, which is a fictional town in Montana, and to, spend the summer and get away. And I end up meeting, Boone, who's played by Kevin Smith, and we have a little romance. And then this picks up where that one left off. And we kind of now are trying to blend our families, and I'm not giving anything away since it's in the title. Bridal Path, obviously, they are planning to get married at some point.
It'd be a little misleading if they weren't.
Right, exactly, right. So it's quite funny, because it's all the things that in planning a wedding, and like merging families and merging homes and all that stuff, like the things
difficult.
It's difficult. It's not like when you meet somebody and you don't have kids and you don't have any of the baggage, and you just kind of go, okay, and you build to that. It's like, okay, how does this work? And so it was cool to see Hallmark tackle that topic, because Hallmark is, they're fantastic at doing the happy-go-lucky, like the Christmas movies, and there's a breakup, then they get back together, and there's a kiss at the end, and yay, everybody's happy. But this actually dealt with some deeper issues, which I thought I was very proud of that.
Hallmark's kind of expanding, the offerings that they're giving. They've kind of gotten into mystery and some of these more drama type instead of the it's not as formula.
Yes, they're branching out. They're definitely pushing the envelope with the subject matter, as well as just the kinds of shows. Because I think the Andie MacDowell one that they're doing, that's like time travel and stuff. I was like, what? I'm like, Hallmark's doing time travel, cool. I'm like, I make note time travel show.
I mean, don't you think it's time they got into superheroes? We need some Hallmark superheroes.
I think that's where I draw the line. We got enough superheroes out there, don't you think?
There's a lot.
Kind of saturated.
I mean, I'm a comic book guy, and there's a lot.
Yeah.
You can't keep up with all of it. There's so much.
No, and they're getting more, keep coming. I'm like, who are these? Like, I was like, I just remember Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. Yep. Okay. That Iron Man, that was starting to get out of the box.
You played Painkiller Jane. That was from a comic.
That's true. I didn't know who Painkiller Jane was before I did it, though, right? I was like, oh, this is really cool. So that was dipping my toe into that universe. But, which is so cool. Like, I love the idea of playing a superhero. It's like, it was fun, but and I would do it again in a heartbeat. It's just, I feel like now there's so many that
it's pretty saturated.
It's just all special effects and them fighting and blowing stuff up. And I'm like, oh, I like it when there was more of a story.
Yeah, I'm the same. I was talking with someone yesterday about that when I was growing up, it seemed to me like the stories were better. And it may have just been because they have the ability, special effects wise, to do all that. But now they do. And I don't know, it takes something away from the story for me.
I agree. It's like the first Iron Man for me was awesome. After that, like, they're good, but it's just
right.
Same like Lord of the Rings, amazing movies, but like the first one was the best one. And then there's like all this fighting and war style, like, and it's all blowing crap up. And I'm like, but the story. And I know I'll probably get people being like, that's not true. I thought wonderful.
You're gonna tick off the comic book fandom.
That's right. I'll get it. Hold on. I think my little thing is, there we go. That higher. There we go. I felt like it kept going lower, and I'm like,
we're both going down.
Yeah. What's going on? Yeah, I'm like pissed off the comic book fandom now. But no, I love all that stuff. It's just there's a lot of it.
There's a lot. So when does this movie come out?
It comes out August 11th at 9 p.m. 8 Central.
Yep.
And yeah, on Hallmark.
Our intention, because we can hold about 20 people here in our studio, is to make it a date night. And we're going to bring in all the kids and their husbands and wives and, and my wife, some friends. We're going to make it a big evening. We're going to have some food. It's going to be a fun night.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, I'm up in Canada right now, and I'm figuring out a way to get either a link or a screener of it, because I was trying to find a way to maybe get some of the cast together somewhere and at least see it and watch it together. And if we can tweet along, do that.
Come on. We'll save a chair for you. Come on.
Right? I'm flying to Virginia. Bring out the popcorn.
Bring out the popcorn. But yeah, we're gonna make it a big. We've done that a few times for things. It's usually just the guys getting together, but we've done it a few times where it's kind of a date night. And we'll watch. Whatever. It's usually an action movie. But yeah, but this one, date night. It's gonna be a fun night.
Nice. I love it.
Are they going to show the original movie around that time?
I don't know. That would make sense for them. Usually they do that. Like, they tend to do that, but I'm not.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping they do, because we may make it a double feature.
Well, you know what I think it's if you have the Hallmark streaming app, Hallmark Now, I believe it's on that now. I believe because they just because it wasn't until I said then, and now it is. I think they just put it up because they tagged me in a post and it was about sign up for Hallmark Movies Now, which I am proud to say I have and pay for. I do not get it for free, but I love having it. I get to watch whatever I want.
See, that doesn't seem fair. You should get that for free.
It's like what, $6 a month or whatever it is. I'm happy to contribute something to the making of family friendly programming.
Yeah, and they have such good programming. My oldest, my daughter, she day after Thanksgiving, she starts watching Christmas movies. That's all she watches. With that.
Right? Isn't it fun though? Like, I love their Christmas, like their whole Christmas lineup.
Oh yeah, it gets better and bigger every year.
Yeah, and then they do Christmas in July, which they're doing right now, which is also lots of fun. No, they've got it. They've got a good thing going. It's like, it's a nice, it makes me happy to be able to do stuff that everyone can watch, because I've done enough stuff where not everyone can watch. And this is like, I can tell friends with kids and stuff that they can all sit down and watch that, and it's not, I know that it's not going to be offensive or tackle subject matters that are too
we need
much.
Some programs like that.
I think so. I mean, there's so much, especially in the last few years, like there's so much dark stuff on all these streaming platforms and on television, and like there's so much dark crap going on in the world that the last thing I want to come home and like turn on, Stranger Things or like whatever, where they're killing people and there's monsters and there's satanic whatever going on, and you're just like, okay, I just want my happy place. Where's my happy place? So
I used to complain that everything always had a happy ending. I was like, why can't we have like a not happy ending? Well, now everything's like that, and all I want is the happy ending. Just give me the happy ending. Whatever's going on, however bad the situation was, just at the end of it, go ahead and wrap it up in a nice bow for me. That'd be great.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I used to be like you too, like, oh, it's so cheesy, whatever. And now I'm like, you know what? If I can be a part of programming that promotes like, a positive message and has something to learn for kids or a family, like that helps people, like that makes me happy. Like, I don't need to go blow shit up. Like I don't. I want to play with ponies and like live happily ever after, both on television and off.
No assassin roles in your future?
No assassin roles. Not at the moment. Not that, I mean, those are fun too, but like, again, it's just, I mean, I will go see Mission Impossible. I will go see Indiana Jones. I mean, like, I love all those movies, but when I'm at home on a day-to-day, like outside of just like this Saturday, we're going to the Barbie movie, which is very exciting.
Too. We're planning to do that too. We may go see both. They're doing that whole Oppenheimer Barbie thing, so we may see both.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, and I'm excited. We're dressing up. We're gonna wear pink. We're gonna, we're doing the VIP experience. These are all adults, by the way. Like, no children are coming with us.
I love that.
So it's like, and it's all women, of course, for the most part. All the men are like, we'll be golfing.
Well, that's how we're getting the guys to go. We're going to see Oppenheimer 2. So it's like one for each.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So so there's like you got
the argument though is which to see first. See, my preference would be see Barbie last, because then you end on a
happy note. Yeah. Like on a colorful, bubbly, life is good note.
Right. But a lot of our group is wanting the reverse, because they're like, if we see Oppenheimer, it's going to mess up Barbie. So they're thinking
let's take you a while to get into Barbie, because you're going to be at that place.
Right. So I kind of get that on.
I get that. But then you go from Barbie to Oppenheimer, and you're just like, it's like
I don't know if I could do it. I don't know. It's a weird combo.
Therapy afterwards. There's gonna be some appointments made, maybe virtually, maybe not, but like,
you're gonna have to talk to somebody.
Yeah, you're gonna have to talk to somebody after that.
Do you have a good Charlie Sheen story?
mean, so I remember when I first started the show, I was terrified of the live audience, like really just scared
Yeah, I could
out of
see that.
my mind because
I mean,
you know,
had you've done theater a little bit though? It's kind of similar, isn't it?
I was a child, like when I
Right.
was like in high school, not even, yeah, high school and elementary school. So I don't have a problem being in front of people and like when there's cameras and all that stuff. I have no problem on set with that. It doesn't bother me. But for some reason, the idea of a live audience
Yeah.
just scared the crap out of me. And and I think Charlie could tell I was really nervous and was kind of I was probably like, I think we might have had a kiss or something and he probably felt me shaking. So anyway, he says to me, he's like, the audience is here because they love the show. They're not here because they want to like heckle you. And I was like, oh, that's a good point. He's like, they think it's fun. Like when you screw up or whatever, if you make a mistake, they think it's funny. It makes you human. It makes you, like it actually, like it gives them an insight into like how it really, like, it's not perfect. You don't just do it
That
once
was
through.
nice of him to do.
Yeah. So it's actually an interesting, once he said that, it kind of, I went, oh, and something clicked and I was like, oh, okay. And I was able to sort of relax and enjoy it, and then, of course it was still a little nerve wracking, but by the time I'd done a few, then I started to really have fun. I was like, this is great. Like, and the adrenaline rush from having a live audience and having that reaction is
Well, I mean,
really,
it was number one show for several seasons.
yeah, yeah. It was a big show. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. I'd never done a sitcom. I mean, other than Love, I did one episode of Love Inc. I think it was the same year. And I think they put me in that just to give me a taste of the sitcom world. And then I went and did 2.5 Men, and I was like, oh boy, this is
A little
I don't
different
know what
animal.
I hired. I had like imposter syndrome. I was like, I've been hired and I have no idea what I'm doing. But it was a blast. I mean, it really, one of my fondest sort of memories of working on shows is one of them is working on that show.
Yeah, it was such a good show. I love the episode where you were like in the music booth. The one
Okay.
yeah.
That was my favorite episode to do because I got to do funny stuff. Usually I was like the setup girl or like the dry, and that I actually got to just
That was funny.
let her rip. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. You did a stint on the show Rogue, which was an AT&T show, and at that time, I was running an AT&T call center, and
Oh,
we had they had 100 TV screens, and they showed that to us early, so we got to see several of the episodes early. But then they ran it just nonstop with that. So I've seen those episodes with you in like 100 times.
oh my gosh.
I haven't
Okay.
listened to all of them, but just they're playing in the background
On
for
a loop.
just constantly. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, but it's a good show.
It was good. It was good. And it's so funny now. I look back, I'm like, oh my God, right. Cole Hauser, like back then, like, people knew who he was or whatever, but like, I remember he was going off to do Yellowstone after that. I was like horse camp and the whole thing. And to see all the memes of like him now, like all, like the scruff and the cowboy hat and the cowboy, like, and all the girls like, oh my God, Cole. It's just so funny to me. But
How have you avoided being on Yellowstone? I mean, with your background with horses, you think that would be a good fit?
I guess so. I don't know. There's still time, I suppose. I have no idea.
Well, they keep doing spinoffs too.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, there's time. Although, not a ton of happy endings on that show.
Yeah, it's a little heavy. When I watch the show, I'm like, I can only do like 1 or 2 episodes at a time, and then I need a break.
See, I say that all the time. There's certain shows that are awesome, but you can only watch like 1, maybe 2, and then you got to take a day or 2 off. Succession
is like that for me. I've been watching that. Okay, I'm like, that's enough screwed up family dynamic.
Yelling on that show.
Time being. I'm like, don't need to see that. I feel a little better about my life, but that was a lot. I need to just.
Those kids were a mess.
Oh my God. And I'm only in season 2. Like, just
I
started way late.
It doesn't get easier.
Right. Great. Oh no, every episode I'm like, oh, ooh, and I'm just it's like it's stressful to watch, but it's so well done.
That's one that it's better, I think, to watch it like we used to watch TV, which was once a week, because you
Yep.
watch that episode and then you can dissect it, talk about it for a week, and then you're ready for the next one when it comes out. But if you try to binge it, you're going to be a disaster by the end of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I quickly realized that. I was like, between that and Yellowstone, I was like, okay, no, we need happy in between. We need something fun.
We don't go to
So,
like my wife and I, we don't go to bed on a drama. It's always a comedy or maybe like a talk show or something like that, but never a drama or anything upsetting, because who could sleep after that?
yeah, no, that's true. That is true. Although I do sometimes watch Succession before bed. That's probably not the best. Probably why I don't sleep well.
I was gonna say you're probably the stuff's probably running through your head.
Yeah, yeah, it's disturbing, that whole it just, yeah. Well, and then there's the times where you just like you see them doing something, you're like, oh no, it's gonna end badly. That like what road they're taking. You're just like, shit. How do I'm like, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch. I know what's happening. I'm already predict what road that it's just gonna end badly, and I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I knew that when I was watching it, I was like, this isn't going to end well for anybody.
No.
They're not going to reconcile with their dad. It's just not going to work.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well,
It's so good.
Oh, wait, let me double check, because I'm supposed to be on another thing. 2:15. I'm on another thing.
Well, we better wrap it up so we don't make you late.
Yeah. No, I'm so enjoying talking to you though. I'm like, oh no.
That's good, because now I've snagged you. I've drawn you in, so maybe you'll come back at some point.
I would love to come back at some point for sure.
Yeah. And unless this is your final movie. But if it is, then maybe you could come podcast.
This is true. I moved to Virginia and like on a farm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What if we did a podcast about you trying to teach me horse stuff?
Sure.
It'd be hilarious.
It might be, or it could be dangerous.
It'd be dangerous too, because I'm a big chicken. So I guarantee that my cowardness would get in the way of me being safe.
Oh, we would just find nice, safe horses for you.
Maybe a little pony, something.
Yeah. All right, you want a pony.
Something easy. I think that would be good. But I'd watch that show.
Yeah, that would be fun.
It'd be funny. Well, Emmanuelle, thank you so much for taking the time today. It's been awesome. Been looking forward to this for a while. Real quick before we go, is there anything else you're working on that we can keep an eye out for?
Yes. So my foundation, the Fluff Ball, this week I found the organization that we are going to be supporting and raising money and awareness for, and it's horsesandheroes.org out of Ocala, Florida. And they do amazing work with young women and retired horses. And there's a documentary. I'll send you actually the link to the documentary to post, because it gives you it's 6 minutes long, and it gives you a really, really wonderful insight into what they do there, and the owner and founder, Mindy Morrow, who runs the program. So yeah, if people are so inclined to watch it, I encourage you to do so. It's really worth the wait. It's very impactful, I found, and I'm really excited for us to be supporting.
That's awesome. I love the Fluff Ball name too. That's a good choice.
Thank you.
That's a good choice. That's fun.
Thank you.
Like yeah, no, that sounds awesome. So last thing before we wrap up, where can we find you on social media?
Emmanuelle Vaugier at Emmanuelle Vaugier on Instagram, The Real Emmanuelle Vaugier on Facebook, and Vaugier on Twitter.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Well, thank you so much. And please, let's plan this again at some point and have you back on.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Okay, hold on one second. All right, so that was Emmanuelle Vaugier. very proud that I got the last name right, because if you've been watching this show for a while, that I struggle with pronouncing people's names. It's a terrible deficiency in my character. I wish I could fix it, but I nailed this one. So one down, I guess. Thank you guys for tuning in again this week. Absolutely been looking forward to this for a while. We've wanted to have her on the show for a couple years now. So very happy that we were able to make it happen. Talked about most of the things I wanted to talk about, but I saved a few for the next time. 2.5 Men, obviously she was terrific on. She had a stint on CSI New York that was awesome. If you never saw it, she played Detective Jessica. She was terrific. So I wanted to speak to her about that. And then she was the Morrigan on Lost Girl, which was a lot of fun. I'm a sci-fi guy, so I enjoyed that. She did Covert Affairs with Piper Perabo. I thought was terrific. We talked a little bit about the Painkiller Jane. It was kind of like a pilot movie, and then they did a TV show on Sci-Fi, but she didn't continue in the role. But she was really good in the movie. Of course, she was in 2 of the Saw movies, Saw 2, Saw 4. Terrific. She did a movie, it's been a little while back, called Secondhand Lines that I really liked at the time. So she was really good in that. She had a role in 40 Days, 40 Nights. She was Peggy on Supergirl. There was a MacGyver role, Magnum P.I. I mean, I could go on. She's done some Christmas movies, Hawaii Five-0, Human Target, Supernatural, Monk, Charmed. She played Nikki on One Tree Hill. That's been a little while back, but she was on a bunch of those episodes. We talked about Andromeda. One of my favorite shows was Veronica Mars. She had an appearance on that. And then she was Dr. Helen for like a stint on Smallville. There was a bunch of episodes with her playing Dr. Helen. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again this week. Definitely don't take that for granted. If you happen to be finding us for the first time, we could use your support. It's easy. It's free. If you prefer to watch, our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Just subscribe. That's all we ask. Just hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a cent. Really helps us out. If you want to listen, wherever you listen to your podcast from, whatever application you're using, just subscribe there. That'll help us as well. We put out episode number 620 today. You can find all of those, audio and video, on our website, meistercon.com. It'll also let you know if we're doing something in studio, like watching Big Sky River, the Bridal Path. That'll be on there. If we're going on location, if we're covering a convention, anything we have going on will be on the website, meistercon.com. So please check us out there. Thank you guys so much. Big Sky River, the Bridal Path, premieres on Hallmark. I think she said 8. She may have said 9, but on August the 11th. So definitely check that out. It's a series of movies, or a series of movies that's based on a series of books. I think the author's name is Linda Miller. I think I may have that correct. Thank you guys. Until next time. Bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm once again here to ask for your support. It's been a big year for the Two Opinionated podcast. Back in February, we got to live out a dream, moderate for William Shatner here in our hometown. In May, we passed 100,000 downloads on our YouTube channel, and we followed that up in June with 50,000 downloads on the audio side. We recently posted our 600th episode, which is pretty good volume for just a father and son operation. Not too many podcasts can keep that volume up. We've been doing this now for 4.5 years, 600 plus episodes. We recently hit 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is a really big deal for us because we've always gotten the views, but have struggled to get people to subscribe. So that 1,000 was a big deal for us. And best of all, we were recently named one of the top podcasts on IMDb, which is the entertainment database. Those that are ahead of us, we came in at number 82. Those that are ahead of us are bigger companies like Disney, mostly Marvel, and Joe Rogan, that type of podcast. So for us, being just a small West Virginia father and son podcast, to be in the top 100 out of 15 million, it's a pretty big deal for us. So thank you for everything you've done for us so far. Got a couple little ways, though, that you can help us, and they're free and they're really easy. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel yet, please go to YouTube. It's under MeisterCon Pod. Just hit subscribe. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, really helps us a ton. And maybe even more important, if you could go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and just look around the page. Just having that traffic on the page really helps us out. So that's a couple easy ways that you can support us, even if you're not listening or watching all of the time. And we want you to listen and watch, because I think that our guest list, I would put up against anybody, any other show, podcast, anybody out there. I think our guest list holds up. So please check us out. You probably will find somebody that you like, or maybe somebody that you didn't know you liked, but kind of discovered them on there. There's tons of that. If you're into music, we have that too. If you like books, we've got authors on there. If you're more into what goes on behind the scenes in the entertainment world, we've got producers, directors, video artists, anything you can think of that happens behind the scenes, we've had them on the show. So definitely check us out. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.